Hi there, welcome back, welcome if you are new, welcome to Restore to Her channel, welcome to Restore to Her community. Yeah, we are starting a community here, so thank you for hanging out. I am Dee LaShawn, the founder of Restore to Her, and we do all things Jesus, mindset, transformation, and all things that God tells us to talk about on this channel. And the biggest one that we're going to focus on today is hope. Y'all, we need hope. As long as we have hope and faith, we can do it. We can do it. And God says only if we have a mustard seed. And sometimes, y'all, we may only have a mustard seed, but God can work with that. He can work with that. So I want us to focus on hope today. Let's hope again. I'm going to challenge you a little bit and also encourage you to hope again. Hope again. And the reason why I want you to hope again is because God haven't changed his mind. God has not changed his mind. What he said about you, he haven't changed his mind. What he said who you are, he has not changed his mind about the purpose and the plans that he have for you. So that alone, my God, that alone gives me hope, right? So I hope it gives you hope as well. And I'm talking to the person today. Somewhere along the way, you lost your way. And it happens, right? Because life happens. And you stop hoping. Because sometimes it's just easier not to have those expectations, right? Been there, done that. So I know that feeling. But I'm talking to the woman that's tired. I'm talking to the woman that has tried before and it didn't work out the way you thought it was going to work out. But let me tell you a little secret. My first side note, it worked out exactly how God wanted it to work out. Okay. Yes. And the woman who's questioning if it's too late, nope. If you're watching this video, let me answer that real quick. No, it is absolutely not too late. Because why? Again, God has not changed his mind. God has not changed his mind about you. God has not changed his mind about what he put you in the earth to do for such a time as this. We just need to get back into alignment. We just need to get back on track. Or we just need to really ask God. Stop guessing and just ask God and start to move. And that's where a mentor, a coach, wise counsel can really help you sort these things out, right? So those are good to have. Which, y'all, the story about my wise counsel. When I was one time I was in college. I was going to school and working at the same time, because y'all know I had my boys. So I was working and I was going to school, right? I was in college. But it felt like it was too much. It became too much for me, so I stopped. And then I had this mentor. I want to say she's a mentor. She was a destiny helper, and she kept encouraging me to go back to school. She stayed on me about going to school, and I kept making, I can't, it's not a good time. I got this, that, and going on. I was like, I don't want to be in that overwhelmed situation again, so I'm just going to continue to work, right? But eventually I got back in school because I felt like it's too much. Because let me back up a little bit. Before I did that, there was doubt, there was delay, there was discouragement about, can I actually go to school? Can I work? And can I take care of my boys? Can I do all of the things at one time, right? So, but the turning point was what I call destiny helper, that continued to speak life into me, continued to encourage me to do all the things. But with that, and not but, and I had to make a decision, right? And we all have to make a decision, because our decisions determine our destiny. Your decision will determine your destiny. Because again, we have to agree with God, right? For the things that He has with us. And let me say, I was thinking about the videos, and I'm always speaking about agreement. But what I have missed that I did not share, there are things that we need to come out of agreement with. I had to come out of agreement with some things that I had agreed with. So think about things that's not true of you and come out of agreement with it and then agree with God. For example, you agree with you're not worthy. Okay, we're going to come out of agreement with that. I no longer agree with that. I am worthy. And I am going to agree with God that says that I'm worthy. And take that little piece and continue to just think about all the things that you may have come into agreement. Come out of agreement and then find something in scripture to come into agreement with about exactly who you are. Right? So yeah, I made a decision. I had to make a decision. And this time, I'm going to put more hope and trust in God than myself, because we need God to do all things. We can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens us. So I think that was one of the key components that I was missing. I was trying to do all the things in my strength. Y'all know that don't work. It's exhausting. Let me tell you, it's exhausting. But when we come into alignment and when we agree with God and when we ask God to strengthen us and help us to do all the things, we can do it. And let's do it with Him. I'm not saying it won't have its challenges with God, but there's a peace. There's a peace about what you're doing. There's a grace about what you're doing. I promise you it's easier because I did both. I've done it without God and I've done it with God. And let me tell you, do it with God. Save yourself some time, save yourself some energy, save yourself some headache and heartbreak. Do it with God, okay? Do it with God. And maybe it may not necessarily what you need to hope for again. It may not necessarily be going back to school. You need to hope again for going back to school. Maybe you need to hope again for the job that you applied for and you did not get it. Maybe you need to hope again for a new relationship, right? Maybe you need to hope again where you wanted to be an entrepreneur and it didn't work out the first time. Maybe you need to hope again for that. Maybe just hope again that I can be who God has called me to be. That's gonna be our biggest hope. Hope again that you can be exactly who God called you to be, and you can do exactly what God said that you can do. But I want you to hope again. Be encouraged to hope again. You might need to hope again about walking in purpose. Okay, I can do this. Maybe I need to start again. I need to hope again. I need to go back to the drawing board again. I need to write it out again and trust God, because we can do it, right? So let's talk about hope, because I said we can hope. But let's shift in. How can we hope? First, let's go. Hope. Have faith. Have faith again, because it's gonna be faith. It's faith in works. Faith is our currency. Faith is heaven's currency. Start to build up that bank so you can withdraw. Having faith, right? Having faith. Faith is not having all the answers. Faith is just taking the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, because He tells us in the Bible, Hebrews 11:1, we know that now faith, that we can start again. We can start to hope again. Hope starts with a decision to do it again and to believe again. To believe that God has the best for you, because He does. And then, oh, yeah, I'm doing an acronym on HOPE because it's easy for us to remember. I know for me. So we're going to hope. And O is open your heart and your mind again. Can we do that? Can I encourage you to open up your heart and mind again to new possibilities, to the things that God has in mind? So this is what's going to help us to get back on track to hope again. We have to open up our minds and heart to this again, right? Because many women shut down after disappointment. I've done that. We shut down after disappointment, but God wants to do something new. But we have to be open to it, open to healing, open to transformation, open to doing something different, open to change, open to what God had in mind for us. We can't receive new blessings with closed mind and closed heart. So allow God to come in and do what he do, because restoration is your portion. Open your heart and mind for God to come in and to restore. Only he can do it. I'm here to encourage you, to point you back to where you truly going to get it. The real restoration. To point you back to what you're truly missing and looking for. Because that was me. And then we have the P in hope, and that's pursue the promise again. Pursue the promise again. God has promised you some things, and if you're not sure about it, again, open the Bible. There are so many promises in the Bible. And then the more you start to read the Bible, believe the Bible, and we commune and have relationship with God, he will give you and reveal to you that promise for you. Okay? And he will. So it's your perseverance, y'all. Your perseverance has shaped who you are now. You're not broken. That it's shaped you. God is going to use all of it. All things are working together for your good. Okay? So try it again. Try it again. Apply what you know, because you're not starting over. You're starting with some wisdom. If we took time to reflect and take the lessons from the things that we have been through, and then go. Pursue the promise again, because he says goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives. That's movement. That's movement. And then E, we can expect God to come through. Oh, yes. Expect God to come through for you, because let me tell you why. He's already come through for you before. He's come through for all of us before. So why wouldn't he come through for you now? Yes, God is going to come through for you. As long as we're in relationship and we are honoring God, he's going to come through. If we are trusting God to come through, to have faith for God to come through, I don't care what it looks like. It's not what you see, it's what God said. You hear me? It is not what you see, it is what God says. Until that come into alignment, keep pressing. Keep pressing. Okay? And then E, expect God. Oh, I said that. We're going to expect God to come through for us. Maybe that might be the biggest thing right there. Expect God to come through for us, and we can do it again. We can hope again. And I want to just pull out a few people in the Bible where they had to hope again. Okay, hope again. The woman at the well, and yeah, we kind of know the story. She met Jesus at the well, and she was hiding from all the people because of her life and what they were talking about her and all the things. But she had to open her mind, open her heart to receive what Jesus had for her, to receive that living water, right? Jesus offered her something different, but she had to have an open heart and mind to do it again. I have to trust someone again. Because if we know the backstory, it was 5 dudes, right? And one, he said, is not your dude now. So she had to trust again. She had to hope again. Which, by the way, she didn't even know she was going to have that encounter. So praise God for divine encounters. And I pray that God has a divine encounter for you today or this week. Yes. But we can stop going to things that leave us empty. Stop going to things that leave you empty. What's going to fill you? What's fulfilling to you? Take note of those things, and then take note of the things that's draining you, that's taken away from you, that's not giving you hope. Yeah, think about those things. Oh, when I talk to this person, I don't feel so inspired or whatever. I don't have hope. I don't have faith in someone that's discouraging you from doing what God told you to do. So be careful who you share with. Someone that's going to pray with you, that's going to encourage you to do the things. Yes. And that's going to hold us accountable to the things that we need to do. Because it's good to have that friend that, hey friend, remember when you said, back to the college story. She came, friend, you said you was going to get in school this semester. What's up? Friend, another semester has passed. You in school? You back in college? So, you know, that helped me. It was all in love. So be careful, because we need them in love, not someone that's, because God does not do condemnation. So be careful, because it's not someone that's going to put you down and all the things, right? And then the woman with the issue of blood, she had the hope again. She's searching for 12 years, doing all the things, trying to get relief, right? But she hoped again. She heard Jesus was coming through. Okay, I'm going to hope again. I'm going to hope that Jesus can do what I am hearing he can do, which is heal. And he not only healed her, it was wholeness. He didn't just heal the one issue. And that's what Jesus wants for us. It's not just the one thing. He don't want to just heal the one thing that we're bringing to us. He wants total wholeness for us. Total wholeness. But she had to hope again. She had to open up her heart and mind and believe again, to hope again. And then we know Moses and Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh told Moses no repeatedly. It was a no. It was a no. It was a no. Let me tell you something. You only need one yes. You only need a yes. You can get all the no's. Because let me tell you something. Those no's are going to work out for you. Don't feel like it in the moment. But those no's are going to work out for you. Sometimes those no's are protecting you from things that you don't even know, that I don't even know. So when it's a no for me, okay, I'm good with that. Because when God wants it to be a yes, it's going to be a yes. And then Simon Peter, he was Simon at the time, when he had been fishing all night. And he had the encounter with Jesus. He had been fishing all night. Y'all, he was a whole professional, so he knew how to fish, right? His family and all, they all fish. He told Jesus, I've been out there all night fishing and we didn't catch nothing. But Jesus challenged him to go out into the deep and do it again. And you know what his response was? If you say so, I'll do it again. Let that be our response today. Let that be our response going forward. Jesus, if you say so, I will do it again. If you say so, I'm trusting you. I'm out here. If you say so, I'll do it again. And let me tell you how that story ends if you're not familiar with it. He went back out there. He obeyed God and did exactly what Jesus told him to do. He obeyed. And he encountered overflow. Obedience, obeying God unlocks overflow. Yeah. So we can see the lesson in that. Just opening, and everyone was open. Everyone I just met, they had to be open to hoping again. To be open to it, to hope again. So let that be our portion today, God. I will hope again. God, if you say so, I will hope again. And you fill in the blank. God, I will hope again. Start to write out those things and think about the things that you're going to hope for again. Again, God has not changed his mind about you. Every day is a new opportunity. God has not changed his mind. He's given you the choice. We have free will. We all have free will. And I love the analogy. Think about this. If someone gives you the gift and sit the gift on the table and you never open the gift, it's not because they didn't give you the gift. You chose not to open the gift and see what was in it. So God has given us all things that we need, but we also have to partner with God and make a decision. And it's going to start with hope again. It starts with our mindset and our belief before we go into action doing anything. So we can think about where we are, right? But just know it's not too late. You're not disqualified because God qualifies you, not people. You're not disqualified because someone said you was disqualified. So if you have agreed with that, please come out of agreement with that and agree that God has qualified you. Okay? And then know, as you hope again, as you have faith again, to know that God is writing your story. Take the pen out. Let me find something. I have a pencil. Take this out of your hand and give it to God. God is writing. Let God write. Let God instruct, because he said, I will instruct thee and teach thee the way that I should go. That you should go, that I should go. That's his word. So we can do that, okay? Let's hope again. Let's say God will and can restore. Restoration is our portion. But we need to partner with God. We need to ask God to come in and do what only he can do. I'm just a messenger. Only God can give restoration. God restored me. I didn't do it on my own. I just agreed with God. I came out of agreement with things and then I agreed with God. I start hoping again. I start having faith again. I start living again. I stop surviving to start thriving. To agree with God. And the minute I start hoping and I'm believing and I'm having faith that God has my best interest, things start to shift. Things start to change. So, which part of hope do you need the most today? Which part? Think about it. Do you need to have faith again? Or do you have your faith good? Or it's time to open up your mind and heart to believe again? Or do you need to raise your expectations of it? Do you need to raise your expectations? Do you need to pursue the promise again? Today, if you can just take 5 minutes just to sit down and just write and really think about the things that I talked about today. Because I truly want you to hope again. I want this for you, but you have to want it as well. And I'm here to journey with you. Because we're all on a restoration journey, right? We're just at different parts. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It is going to be okay. Hope again. Stop allowing the devil to kill, steal, and because that's his job, to kill, steal, and destroy. Stop allowing the devil to rob you of your peace, to steal your joy, to steal your destiny, to steal and destroy the things that God has promised to you. We're no longer doing that. We are going to hope again. We are going to hope again. We are going to believe God. We are going to take God at his word. Okay? Yeah. We are going to do that. So even when I'm talking about these different Bible studies, stories, y'all, we can put ourselves in those, just really truly think about the goodness of God and how God restored. It's restoration all throughout the Bible. God is able, God is willing to restore. And if you need more, if you want to go in depth, and, do the work, because it's going to take work. It's faith and works. I have my book, Restored to Rise. And at the end of each chapter, there is application. There's work for us to do. Mindset, heart checks, and all the things. And we can start to hope again. We can believe again. And our 2026 and beyond can be our best days ever. Why not? Why not? So, y'all, thank you for joining. And I ask that you do all of the social media things that we do. I ask that you, if you enjoyed the video, could you like, subscribe if you have not, and share the video. As y'all, I'm here every Wednesday. You guys showing up. Oh, and you're going to show up too. I'm showing up. You're going to show up too. We're all going to show up. We're all going to show up for Jesus and be light. Because we need the light. We need to be the light. Okay? And it's going to be fine. So, y'all, hope again. Hope again. And remember, God has not changed his mind about you and the purposes and the plans that he has for you. God has not changed his mind. So hope again, and join me back here again next Wednesday, and I will see you around on all of the social media things. I'll be around. So until then, have an amazing, blessed day. And know that restoration is your portion, because God specializes in restoration. So have an amazing day. Have an amazing week with purpose on purpose. Blessings.